Wednesday's boarding school, Nevermore Academy, is full of students with supernatural abilities, but it's unclear if Normies are allowed to attend or it's exclusive to the supernatural. At the beginning of Wednesday Season 1, Wednesday is attending a typical public high school. However, she's promptly kicked out when she unleashes live piranhas in the pool to exact revenge against the kids who bullied her brother. Her parents instead send her to their own alma mater, Nevermore Academy, which caters to outcasts, freaks, and monsters, and has a murderous hide on the loose. Anywhere else, these kids would be the outsiders. But in the town of Jericho, Vermont, where the school is located, the so-called Normies, people without supernatural powers, are the outsiders. Nevermore's alumni include werewolves, vampires, sirens, and gorgons. Wednesday herself is a psychic with the ability to see into the past and future of whoever she comes into contact with. Even most of the faculty are monsters with their own supernatural abilities. But is Nevermore Academy just for kids with paranormal gifts, or can anyone go there, including the Normies? There are no Normie students, but Nevermore doesn't teach mandatory magical classes. Nevermore isn't just for supernatural students. There are currently no Normie students taking classes at Nevermore Academy, but that doesn't mean they couldn't if they wanted to. Nevermore doesn't teach mandatory magical classes that only apply to magical students. Every kid that goes there gets a standard education, risk of being ripped apart by a monster notwithstanding. This is a bit different from Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry in the Harry Potter franchise. Hogwarts is a specialty school just for witches and wizards. It teaches lessons in charms, potions, and defense against the dark arts, subjects that would only apply to students with magical abilities. Apart from the fact that its students include werewolves, vampires, and the occasional Hyde, Nevermore Academy is a pretty typical school that teaches all the usual subjects. Although no Normies are attending Nevermore right now, if they did, they'd be going to all the same classes they'd get anywhere else. Nevermore opens its doors to students of all kinds. But apparently, when a school offers education to vampires, werewolves, sirens, and gorgons, no one other than vampires, werewolves, sirens, and gorgons wants to go there. It would be a pretty volatile environment for a Normie. Marilyn Thornhill was the only Normie faculty member and taught botanical sciences. Even most of the teachers have supernatural powers. Christina Ricci as Miss Thornhill in Wednesday. Almost the entire staff of Nevermore Academy is made up of monsters. This is probably because, just like the students who end up at Nevermore, the teachers with supernatural abilities would be outcasts and outsiders if they were to teach anywhere else. Even the principal is a monster. In the first season, the principal of Nevermore Academy, Larissa Weems, is a shapeshifter. She's also a former student who used to be roommates with Morticia Adams. All the monsters on the staff mean that the teachers are able to relate to their students on a personal level. There's only one Normie on the entire staff at the school, Marilyn Thornhill, played by original Wednesday Addams actor Christina Ricci. Miss Thornhill is Wednesday and Enid's dorm mother, and she's also the school's teacher of botanical sciences. She's clearly the odd one out. She doesn't fit in with the other teachers or the students, which hints at the twist that she's the big bad of the series. There's also a wonderfully meta element in Wednesday's villain being played by Wednesday herself. In theory, Normies can attend Nevermore, but they would probably have a hard time. At Nevermore, the Normies would be the freaks. Wednesday standing in the courtyard of Nevermore. In theory, Normies could attend Nevermore Academy. There's no specific rule preventing Normies from attending Nevermore Academy. It just seems like they'd all rather get their education someplace else. Any potential Normie student would have a tough time fitting in at Nevermore. The dynamic that all the supernatural students face when they go to other schools, that they're not like anyone else and struggle to make friends, would be flipped when a Normie came to Nevermore and mingled with all the monsters after the ending of Wednesday Season 1. It would be even harder for a Normie to fit in at Nevermore Academy. The one Normie teacher that the school hired turned out to be the villain picking off the students. If the supernatural kids had a prejudice against Normies before, it'll be even worse now. Perhaps in Wednesday Season 2, the show will explore what would happen if a Normie decided to enroll at Nevermore.